think the roundhouse kick with seemingly Conqueror's Haki coded to it is a more impressive attack than Omen is. I don't know that Omen has Conqueror's Haki attached to it at all.
Yeah, it is. We've seen it with Haruden.
But this is Haruden.
So you think he would use it against Haruden and not Zoro?
Do you think Imu used Haki or any Conqueror's Haki, whatever, in his kick against Sanji?
Yeah, I see it.
You see it?
Yeah.
Right? So why do you think if he could do that with his leg, why can't he do it with his tail?
He very well could. I'm saying I don't see it. But maybe I am. What I viewed this as was Zoro's Conqueror's Haki.
But that's
I could just be wrong.
Who was the whole thing with the name attacks?
Me.
Right. Did he name attack against Sanji or Haruden?
No.
Did he name attack against Zoro?
Yeah.
So, because the thing is, if you want to go in the argument, you go there. He legit said a named attack for Zoro, but for both of them, he kind of just reacted in attack.
I am so impressed by Oda's artwork and how he positions characters in the way that he does. Looking at Imu surrounded by the flames while his Haki is going insane, and Jinbei, Frankie, Nami, they're both viewing this large person in the way that they are. They already know he's dangerous. Off rip. And I kind of was disappointed in Sanji a little bit because he also showed what Zoro showed. And it was like Sanji is showing ignorance or pride to do something about killing him being released. Meanwhile, Zoro couldn't keep up with Imu at all, recognizing it, and then going forth and then falling completely on his butt. Sanji kind of just goes in there pissed off. He ignites Ifrit Janbei. He kicks him. And I expected some type of serious Haki showing from Sanji, and it didn't come out. And I know he's the observation user of the group. I understand it coincides with his speed and also his reaction, but I would like it sometimes to coincide with his ability to see how strong a person is. And he clearly didn't do that here. Imu's using Haki all the time, but he kind of blocks the kick and then just deflects it immediately. His foot comes down from deflecting.
He kicked Sanji's kick down.
Yeah. Right. It was
that's pretty dope.
Sanji's kick had no oomph to it, to the point where he needed to do some other thing. You know what I'm saying? He was yo, your attack, pointless, bro. Done. And then he immediately roundhouse kicks, proving that even how large Imu is, he's incredibly fast, because even Sanji, having the observation Haki he has, which is almost second on the crew, I would say. He's second on the crew for observation Haki. He gets kicked immediately, and he has to brace for it, and then it explodes. The same way Haruden had an explosion happen. So a lot of people are going back and forth about the whole Sanji versus Zoro thing. Who's stronger than the other? Are they comparable? They're always going to be comparable, but I think moments like this is where you prove that since Sanji's Haki isn't up there as much as Zoro's, he suffered an attack that Zoro didn't. So Zoro should have had the attack explode on him, the same way Haruden did. But it exploded on Sanji. And I think there's a clear Haki difference. That's why. Other than that, I don't think that this explosion would have happened if Sanji had stronger Haki. I don't think his attack would have been deflected if he had stronger Haki. I think Imu would have used Omen against him too, while blocking his kick.
I get what you're saying, because Zoro's attack was blocked but not deflected like Sanji's kick was.
Right. But that's because of the Conqueror's Haki that was imbued for Zoro. Whereas Sanji is not using that. So does Imu need to use a higher form of Haki? Well, no. So the difference between those two is pretty clear to me. And I'm not knocking Sanji. I'm not upping Zoro. I'm just saying one has better Haki, the other one doesn't. And this is why the attacks are so different from one another. We can go back and forth, but it's a pointless conversation.
We don't have time.
Common leg Sanji is crazy.
Yeah, wow. Sanji getting in action, going after Imu. Shout out to you, bruh. This was gonna happen. This is what we're used to with Sanji. I did have some pushback. I won't get into a back and forth, but to me, I think the roundhouse kick with seemingly Conqueror's Haki coded to it is a more impressive attack than Omen is. I don't know that Omen has Conqueror's Haki attached to it at all.
Yeah, it is. We've seen it with Haruden.
But this is Haruden.
So you think he would use it against Haruden and not Zoro?
I don't see that effect on Zoro, which maybe it is too, but I just didn't see it. You know what I'm saying?
So a person that has Conqueror's Haki and is openly utilizing it and attacking you, you're not going to use Conqueror's Haki back, but you'll use it against Haruden and Sanji who don't have it?
Oda likes to protect his golden boy, man. I don't know what to tell you. But
that's not even how it works either. Because we know that if you have Conqueror's Haki and somebody's attacking you, you have to have equally or more powerful Conqueror's Haki in order for it not to affect you.
all I know is
that not true?
the attack he used on Haruden and the attack he used on Zoro, if they're the same, cool. If they're not, cool. I feel like the roundhouse with the Haki attached to it was stronger. But that's me. That's how I feel about people roundhousing.
So he's using stronger attacks on weaker opponents. Okay, logic at its finest. I mean, we have facts from Roger and Garp and the way they explain Haki and Conqueror's Haki at that. Meanwhile, the logic of using it doesn't make sense in this point. Like, I get it though.
Is Haruden stronger than Sanji? No, right?
No.
But he used the same attack that he used on Zoro to deal with both people. So I don't scale it in that way. Like, this is just Imu using what's convenient to him in the moment. Omen was less convenient than roundhousing in this moment.
So Imu using no Conqueror's Haki against Zoro, who's clearly using it, and then using it against Haruden and Sanji makes sense.
I don't think it matters either way. Imu can handle them. It doesn't matter.
But you do know what Garp and Roger said about Conqueror's Haki, right?
What'd they say?
With rocks?
What'd they say?
About how to overpower his Conqueror's Haki? What did they need?
He didn't need to overpower Zoro's Conqueror's Haki. He already blocked it casually. It's not he's not overpowering.
How do you think he blocked it?
By using his tail. He's not. Is the tail imbued with Conqueror's Haki? Probably not. Like, I don't think it is. It might be. I don't think it is.
That's not how Conqueror's Haki works.
Hold on. Just because you're a Conqueror's Haki user doesn't mean you automatically, like, the person defending what you have needs to have Conqueror's Haki to defend it. Like, that's just not true.
But what do you need to have?
Something strong enough to defend it.
Okay, what would that be?
Whatever is in Imu's tail is strong enough. It could very well just be Conqueror's Haki. It could.
Can I ask you a question, Sebastian? Just quickly, I'm just curious. Do you think Imu used Haki or any Conqueror's Haki, whatever, in his kick against Sanji?
Yeah, I see it.
You see it?
Yeah.
Right? So why do you think if he could do that with his leg, why can't he do it with his tail?
He very well could. I'm saying I don't see it. Maybe I am. What I viewed this as was Zoro's Conqueror's Haki.
But that's
I could just be wrong.
That's what I'm trying to draw to. You think two Conqueror's Haki people clashing, and you're viewing it as only Zoro, when it could be both theirs clashing, the same way we saw Vintage Jiro and Zoro clash with theirs. We saw them clash. We saw Haki. I wouldn't think, it was just Zoro's. I would think it was both of them in both attacks. And same with here. I would think it's both their Conquerors clashing. We're seeing Imu attack with Haki and with Conquerors. But the one person who actually has Conquerors, and you're seeing and the two people he doesn't, I'm going to use it against them, but not against... it doesn't make sense.
Maybe what I'm trying to highlight more clearly is that the attack he does on Zoro doesn't seem to have the explosion that happens to Harude.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm really more saying, that Zoro didn't get hit with this giant explosion while Sanji did get hit with a giant explosion. Larry was using it to say it's because of Sanji's recklessness in attacking. I just think Imu's casually dealing with whoever comes at him however he feels.
It could be both. But I want to do this right here. It could be both. We don't know yet. But the thing is, who was the named attacks wise? Who was the whole thing with the named attacks?
Me.
Right. Did he name attack against Sanji or Haruden?
No.
Did he name attack against Zoro?
Yeah.
So, because the thing is, if you want to go in the argument, you go there. He legit said a named attack for Zoro, but for both of them, he kind of just reacted and attacked.
And also, you could argue that Zoro probably barely dodged it. If you look how close Zoro got, that thing was pretty much in his face.
Yeah, I thought he got hit in the head, but you saw it's the shoulder.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of, Imu told me didn't aim for Zoro's shoulder. Aim for his face. Zoro's like this, so Zoro tried to dodge it as fast as he could, and he barely got hit, but it wasn't enough for the explosion. It wasn't a clean hit. Like, he got straight with it. But it's so strong that it took even Zoro out of commission, even though Zoro got scraped. Because if everything that Imu's doing right now with tackle is exploding, and it's the same attack he did Hajun, how come Zoro didn't explode? There has to be reasons that Zoro somehow barely dodged it, but didn't turn off the explosion day and night.
So it wasn't clean enough to explode, but it was still enough to drop him and have him.
Because I'm thinking, when I saw him, when Sanji exploded from that kick, I'm thinking, how? I'm like, when does Haki do that? I really thought, when does this happen?
Garp and Galaxy Impact.
Oh.
But this is different because he's legit throwing it. Imu's able to do it at point blank range, which is crazy.
Again, I could be tripping. I did like the fact that maybe it's a speed thing that he seemingly had to use his legs instead of the tail. But he could just be using that because it's convenient because he's in front of him. But I did like the roundhouse. Anybody who roundhouses somebody, I love that.
It looks like I see traces of actually the black lightning coming from Sanji's attack. So I know people say, oh, Sanji didn't use Haki, but I see it's not a crazy amount, but I see small traces. I'm talking about like when Sanji kicks Imu. Like not the initial attack, I'm talking about after they like Imu kicks it down. I see traces of black lightning there.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm thinking Sanji had a little bit, because why wouldn't you with your sense of this crazy strong person? And then Imu's response to it, as in kicking it, I thought it was a dope move. Mm-hmm. You kind of like parried it by kicking it down, then roundhousing it immediately. I thought it was dope. And Sebastian mentioned Imu being a troll. I kind of thought it was like a call, like, oh, you like to kick? I'll show you a kick. Damn! And it's that's what I thought of. Yeah, that's what I thought of. He's just like, I'll show you how it's done. And it's like, kick Sanji out of there. But also, I know people are coming at, like, for a while, coming at Zoro, they're coming at Sanji and everything. But I'm actually impressed with the way they responded to attacks from, like you said, like the strongest person in One Piece right now in the world, especially as strong as Emo and someone who's been raiding for this long, his Haki and strength, as in they immediately, like, it wasn't like they got caught lacking, they attacked and got left wide open and got like put. They both responded to try and block or guard or attack. They reacted that fast after their attack and noticing it got blocked to defend themselves. It's Emu, so they got overpowered or taken out either way. But both their responses, because most time we see people, they throw attack and it gets blocked or whatever, and then now they're left completely open and they get full on taking a bunch of damage. But the fact that they were able to get their guard up in time to try and block or dodge, especially Lana bring out Zoro, because Zoro is really close to Emu. His face is there, then notices the attack coming, then kind of pulls back to do this, to try and at least dodge it a little bit, but still get cracked over here for his shoulder to get down. That's impressive. And Sanji immediately noticing that happens and putting up the block that way. To me, these are impressive. Not in a way to knock them, as people are doing, but it's impressive to respond, especially as someone as strong as Emo. And also, too, it's still very early for them in the gang. Like, people think, oh, Luffy's so young. They're not much older than Luffy. The Straw Hats are themselves are very, very young at where they're at in the gang. And they're fighting Emo already. So it's like, yes, we kind of expect this because Emo's this strong, but give them some credit of what they this at least they did this a little bit, you know? So yeah, and to me it was like Emu showing, last thing I'll say, Emu showing the difference in like the strength we're here, because we saw him with the vessel with Gonku, his attack getting freaking blocked by freaking Brook. But we see Zoro and Sanji blocking, but he straight does them in anyway, showing the difference between their strength in that aspect, where Emu versus Gonku. Real Emu versus Emu, Gonku Emu, or Emu using a vessel.
I thought it was funny too when you see Sanji trying to block the kick, because I thought it was so dope what Emu did and how fast he moved. You see Bam already.
Yeah, I know.
You see it says Bam before he hits him. Then you see the big giant explosion of Haki conquers that he did, and again I just want to interesting. Like, how's he doing that? Like, I wonder how he's causing this explosion. Like, and how big it is and how massive, like, it was just crazy. Like, even showing, Jimmy's, like, in the flames, like, yo, what's his black flames? Like, showing how powerful that kick was. Like, Jimmy was getting blown back by it a little bit.